Welcome to the Green Report. Today's focus: minimizing risks in innovation while designing for sustainability. Since the last decade, significant changes have been made to both industrial production methods and the global economy. The landscape of the private sector in all nations has been fundamentally altered by the accelerating processes of globalization and trade liberalization, supported by advancements in information technologies. As a result of these changes, economies around the world are becoming more interconnected, with developing economies playing an increasingly significant role in economic growth. The effects of globalization have made it increasingly clear that the current patterns of economic growth and development cannot be maintained without significant innovation on both the supply and demand sides of the market. As a result, there is a growing need for businesses to conduct research, implement new ideas, and develop better goods and services. Many environmental movements have broadened their focus to include social and economic issues in order to keep up with the rapidly evolving industrial environment. Sustainability is the combination of environmental, social, and economic priorities. Most of the environmental issues and concerns are on the horizon, despite the current focus on climate change. Potable fresh water availability, increased deforestation, decreased biodiversity, and ecosystem destruction are a few of these. To stop these trends, there need to be big changes in consumption and production at the process, product, service, and system levels. The idea of design for sustainability, or popularly known as D4S, that mandates that the design process and final product take into account social and economic issues in addition to environmental issues. D4S embraces how to satisfy consumer needs in a more sustainable manner and goes beyond how to make a green product. Companies that incorporate D4S into their long-term product innovation strategies work to mitigate the negative effects on the environment, society, and the economy throughout the product supply chain and life cycle. Concepts like eco-design and green product design were introduced in the 1990s as tools that businesses could use to lessen the environmental effects connected to their production processes. These strategies helped a business keep its position and competitive edge in a market where taking care of the environment was becoming more and more important. Over the past 10 years, climate change threats have pushed environmental issues to the forefront of political agendas worldwide. In response to these worries, many countries have heard the urgent call to act now. Companies have also had to change their practices in order to respond to these pressing environmental concerns. The D4S approach is based on considering a product's entire life cycle when assessing sustainability impacts. Several environmental and social impacts occur throughout the product life cycle and need to be taken into account holistically. The provision of raw materials and factory production are only two stages of the product life cycle, despite the fact that they are the focus of much environmental attention. The environmental impact of distribution, use, and disposal is frequently greater than that of production. Designing products that minimize environmental impacts throughout the entire product life cycle, not just during production, is D4S's environmental challenge. In order to be sustainable, the needs of future generations must also be taken into account, which necessitates addressing current environmental and social problems. The D4S approach employs a technique known as Factor X thinking. Given the current growth rates of developing economies, 4 times more effort must be put into making goods and processes efficient. Future generations could inhabit a planet with a population of 9 billion people and much higher levels of consumption, necessitating improvements in materials and energy by a factor of 10 to 20. This kind of factor thinking, or Factor X thinking, demonstrates the scope of the task at hand and the urgent need to enhance systems, products, and production methods. The implementation of sustainability goals in a project follows the typical product development life cycle, and the scope of innovation in such D4S projects can help solve the challenges. The path to innovation, however, can be both incremental and radical. Incremental innovation involves incremental enhancements to current products, which tends to strengthen the market positions of established businesses in the sector. This includes competitive product imitation and improvement techniques known as benchmarking. Innovation that is radical alters current goods or procedures. The risks and investments needed for radical innovation are typically much higher than those required for incremental innovation, but they also present more opportunity for new market entrants. So, when applying innovation, a stage gate process can be used to reduce the risk that the entrepreneur faces. The innovation funnel, which consists of 4 stages. The phases are like any lean model of product life cycle process. Discovery phase: problem orientation and strategy. Ideation: this is more of idea generation and design phase. Prototype: demonstration investment occurs here. Delivery and feedback: launch, production, rollout, and exploitation. Throughout this innovation funnel, at each touchpoint in the funnel, significant decisions are made. Following are the options available at each touch point. Move the project from outside the box to inside the box. For example, when profitable opportunities for the innovation emerge at existing markets, the innovation project could be fitted in the existing business portfolio. Alternatively, we can proceed to the next stage, for example, when all objectives are met positively. Or the third option is to stop the project, for instance, if it doesn't seem like it will be profitable, or, on the other hand, if it is excellent but doesn't seem to fit the company's profile. Note that, we have to keep certain points in mind while following this approach. Projects must advance through the funnel just like a supply chain. The phases are connected and sequential. It is necessary to manage each stage and T touch points separately. With regard to resource use and achieving the goals, each step and the overall process can be optimized. Each tollgate should have clear rules and requirements that everyone involved can understand and agree upon. For each tollgate after the first, the criteria are the same, but there is a greater need for specificity and numbers. A thorough and detailed business and launch plan is necessary for the third touch point. The innovation manager is in charge of keeping things moving, keeping costs down, and making the supply chain more efficient. The link between the innovation strategy, stakeholder identification, effort balancing, and the role of the radical innovation team fall under the purview of the innovation manager. We'll continue the journey of sustainability in this series. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Stay tuned.